Hey everyone, guess is back. It's Kamish back here with another draft preview, and this time we got new owner Tracy and Geterdone. From what I've seen from this owner, pretty active, right? Um, and it's been pretty decent. So I'm pretty happy to have you as an owner. And I will say this: it's crazy though that Stewart spent all those years in Tier Two and then he decides to leave. I think it's hilarious. Maybe he didn't like my conspiracy talk, but clearly you don't mind. And I don't only say it once in a while. Everybody knows how I feel, so I just got to throw in my 2 cents once in a while. Anyways, very happy to have you here, and I will share the screen and get into your preview. So here we got it, Tracy, and get her done. So right now, your current keepers, pretty interesting actually. So first off, we'll start with Dak. If the only running back in Dallas is Rico Dowdle and Zeke, I think they're going to be throwing a lot. So Dak's probably going to put up big numbers. Or is this the year where they turn the page from Dak and Mike McCarthy and start anew? Both those guys are contract years. And maybe they just finally turn the page, right? There's some pretty good quarterbacks coming up in this year's draft, so that could be part of it. But if that's the case, if things don't go well for you. If things go well, obviously Dak's going to put up big numbers for legacy team Dallas. And then you got running back Chase Brown entering his second year and a chance to have a big chunk of the time or volume in Cincinnati. I know they added Zach Moss, who had a pretty good year there last year in Indianapolis, and a relief of Jonathan Taylor. But at the same time, I think that Chase Brown, I'm loyal. I'm rooting for him because he's Canadian. And then you go in with the triple wide receiver strategy. Jackson Smith and Jibba, I think, is going to have a great year in his second year of development. So I think he's going to get more time. I know Lockett's still there, but they're going to have to get JSN more involved, and he will eventually have a huge role there, I feel. Brandon Ayuk right now, he's on the 49ers. This actually could carry a level of risk because if they don't trade him, he might just straight up hold out, which would be an absolute disaster for you. When you have a keeper and they're not playing, that would be brutal. And then Jahan Dotson, I think he had a sophomore slump year last year, entering third year of development. That's usually when guys take off. And I think Jahan Dotson's going to have a good year because I honestly think, by the sounds of it, Jaden Daniels is for real in Washington. IDP, Quay Walker, Green Bay Packers. I had said it all along when it was Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean that got drafted, that Nakobe Dean was going to be a bust and Quay Walker was going to be the guy. And I was right on that one. So I'm not always right, obviously, but I would definitely was right on that one. All right. So looking at your draft pick scenario, not great, right? Because you do have the 3 picks late, and the previous owner made a couple trades, I think, to try to survive, and he didn't, unfortunately. But give the guy credit for trying, and he did draft JSN though, and I believe Chase Brown as well. So we do attribute that to Sven, the previous owner. But you do have the 9th pick. I think you're going to be able to get a great player at 9, and that's going to be a guy that obviously early on people would make sense to go with rookies, right? But of course, it does carry that level of risk. And if guys like Debo and King Henry are still available in the draft, those guys would have to be considered. There's a lot of veteran talent still available. Round 4, no round 4 for you, no round 8. Those are going to be probably pretty critical picks for IDPs or something like that. So your IDP room might suffer a bit, and you also have no 11 as those 3 picks ended up on the latter half of round 21 to 29, where you have the 3 extra picks. Likely first pick. So Sean Kokamish is going with Lad McConkey at 9 here. If McConkey's there at 9, I definitely think that'd be a great pick. Based on what I'm hearing in LA, I mean, let's face it, there's a great opportunity there for any wide receiver in LA. I think it's a wide open competition right now. And from what I'm hearing, Lad McConkey's kind of like he's going to be that volume guy that Keenan Allen played, right? That's what I'm hearing so far, but I could be wrong, right? And then likely first pick, I think at that point, if McConkey's still there, great. But if not, I could see Jonathan Brooks maybe possibly still being there. If he is, you definitely probably might want to land him, although he does carry a level of risk, or even Dalton Kincaid for Buffalo. Think about it. A lot of the receivers left there in Buffalo, Diggs, etc. So Gabe Davis as well, right? So does Kincaid get a lot of those targets? So potential storylines. I didn't unfortunately get anything from Sean, but if things go bad, I have you as a tier two drop candidate, to be honest. I think the team still needs some help, and I think it's really gonna depend on how well you draft because you do have the three picks in the latter 12 there or nine, sorry, and there's a lot of good owners here. And if you have a bad draft, it could be bottom four territory for you. If things go well, I got you as a consolation team. I think it's a survival year for you, and I think you're good enough to survive. I will say that, based on what I've seen from you so far, and really excited to have you. There's no doubt about it, and yeah, I just looking forward to seeing what you can do this year, Tracy, and it's gonna be great. So I hope you have a good year. I hope you're enjoying the league. And as always, if you ever have any questions, just throw them on the chat or message Sean and myself. Good luck this year.